Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Game Bros Station, the Brocast where we're going to be talking about the state of Smash. But before we get into that, let me throw in some plugs here. We got a couple shows that might be of your interest. We got a show called Weekend Review, hosted by me and Jared, which, by the way, name's Matt Sella. Hey, how you doing? We talk about various things like game releases, game news, as well as movie newses. Some of them, a little controversial news stuff, but we just give our honest opinions. So I definitely recommend you check that out. But we also talk about some other shows and things like that with our broadcasts, particularly the DuckTales 2017 review. We've done the entire series, so I strongly recommend you check those out. Oh, and last but not least, we also have a show called First Thoughts, where I host and talk about various movies that recently came out and give my overall impressions. Most of them are non-spoiler, so you should really watch them out too. Without further ado, let me introduce you to our panelists for this special Smash Brocast. You know him as my co-host and lead behind the channel of Game Bros Station. It's Jared Late!
Hey everybody, glad to be here.
Glad to have you on, Jared, as always. And we also have a special guest. You know him from the Shovel Knight playthrough. He's hilarious. He has puns for every single occasion. It's Ivan!
I don't have one at the moment, but hello everyone.
Oh man, you're laying him down already.
It's a build-up. It's a pressure cooker.
Well, we're looking forward to some of those puns now. So anyway, we'll get straight into it. We're going to be talking about some of the latest stuff to come out from a few weeks ago. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct focusing purely on Smash, and they announced a whole bunch of new characters as well as some game modes, game features, and things like that. We don't quite have the full thing of details out just yet, but enough of it to really satisfy a lot of fans. So we're going to talk a bit about what were some of our highlights, some things we're looking forward to, and maybe things that weren't quite as interesting to us. We'll start with you, Jared. Let us know. And, by the way, real quick, folks, this is a very casual conversation. We're just going to be talking nonchalantly about this stuff, so we're just going to share just our personal thoughts and have a conversation. Anything goes, right? Mm-hmm. Anything goes. All right, so Jared, why don't you kick us off here and let us know what were some things that were announced from Nintendo Direct that really caught your interest, and what made you more excited, if I may, about the upcoming Smash Ultimate being the largest roster we'll ever have?
So, the Ultimate Direct was pretty damn good. It might be one of their better ones dedicated to a single subject, if I must say. But throughout all of it, the one thing that stood out with me, besides all the giant roster characters and everything, is the stage stuff that was announced. For me personally, I thought it was cool that they showed a little bar graphs of each stage and the totals in every Smash game. I completely blanked out on the fact the original only had 9 stages. And yet, the last one had 50-something plus DLC, whatever.
Yeah, man, it's been so crazy to just think of how far these games have come.
Yeah. And in this one, it's going to be over 100, and each one has 3 versions of it. And they're going to all have 8-player Smash available at the get-go. That's insane. But more so than that, the thing that stood out to me the most, mainly because freaking PlayStation All-Stars did it in a different way, the fact that now there's going to be a random change stage thing.
It's not just random, actually. You can select the two stages that you want.
Yeah,
and also when it transforms, I think.
Yeah, the timing of it, yeah.
It's really cool, how intricate they made all these new features. And it's it's not just random. Like you said, you could choose which ones you want, in what order, and how frequently they happen. So they gave you a lot of freedoms and messing around with settings and things like that.
Yeah, it's almost again, it just seems kind of echoing what other people are saying. It's almost hey, there's a lot of stages in this game, or music to enjoy. So here's yet another reason to not stick to one. I think in reference to competitive play. And by having stuff like hazard toggles and stuff, just allows people to play more in the way that they want. Because there's so much I think there's so much to enjoy. So by unlocking everything, is just, yeah, it just feels like, it feels like just being let into like having a fast pass at a theme park. Just like, here's like, we'll get rid of the barriers. Just enjoy what you want. Jump on anything. I mean, not on anything. Jump into anything.
No, I would go as far as say like this is probably the most inclusive Smash game we've yet to ever have. Because like it's like it has again like everything for like a casual player, but also keeps in mind some of the more veterans or the more hardcore players to get like fun out of it. And they just give you so many freedoms and parameters to do that.
Yeah, I can't wait to explore everything. Like just tweaking things and getting a hands on it. Wait, what was it? I don't know if there was. Are we still sticking with the question that you asked, Jared?
Well, what's the question? You're on.
Was it that? What do you excite or? What were things that stood out to you during the direct? Is that what it was?
Yeah, like what are the things that were announced that really got your attention?
Because everyone talks about like characters are. I think what's amazing about characters is I don't think anything's like less and less things sound less crazy to suggest to go into Smash. I'm just at this point, it all just seems like extra. Like I'm. There's very little that I want personally that like I've already got like I remember back in like I used to look at Electronic Gaming Monthly and for their April Fools they photoshopped Sonic and Tails inside Melee and said like you had to like get a certain amount of kills in Cruel Melee to unlock and like in Brawl that became that became a reality. It was no longer a joke, and like, I just think it's so cool having the old just kind of colleagues of like peers of Nintendo essentially with like Namco and Capcom and Konami, just getting all of their characters in there. Like, I don't know, everything for me would just be icing on the cake. The idea of Echoes is great because it allows kind of like an in-between between new characters and man, I'm going all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, like again, it's kind of sticking on topic here. It's like what particular characters that were announced or have been announced since previous Ultimate Directs that really like caught your fancy?
Oh, I got into the Donkey Kong Country kind of late because I actually didn't have a Super Nintendo. But I always enjoyed K. Rool as a character. I thought he was really fun. Like, I guess I imagined his chances being maybe a little low. I know he's been kind of since forgotten for a while. I believe that he was in some in some gosh, I'm going up the generations. Like he was in Mario's Super Sluggers or something like that.
He was. Yeah. He was also in a Donkey Kong bongo game.
Right. Oh, that's right. It was a bongo racing. But I actually really like him as just having another boss. I have weird like OCD kind of like trying to categorize things. I'm like, but he is a reptilian character. There's so many reptilian characters.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm very particular about certain range of characters.
It's so silly. It's just an aesthetic thing. Like when I try and put everything in a little box. And I'm like, okay, we have Charizard, we have Ridley, we have Bowser. There's so many fire breathers. He doesn't breathe fire, but he's an alligator, so that's technically different. But like he's a fun character, like aesthetically. Like there are serious ones. There are a lot of human characters now, like very like proportional humans. But I think I'm always happy when there's like some wacky. So I'm actually K. Rool is my answer.
Well, I think another thing what makes some people excited, I can't speak on behalf of Mark, but one thing that we're very happy about is that we're starting to get more villain characters. Because if there's one thing about Smash, like there's a lot of heroes, but when it comes to like a palette of villains, like it's kind of like when people compare like Batman's rogue gallery to like say like some random ass Marvel characters. It's like Batman has like the best set of villains around, And Nintendo has some great villains, but not a lot of them have like that mainstream appeal to them, I guess. That might not be a good word for it, but I guess we don't get enough of them to really soak in those characters, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think Smash is like the perfect opportunity to make people be aware of that,
Yeah.
of some of those characters. And it's cool that we're getting like more representation, especially with DK. And for a while, I thought the reason why we didn't get K. Rool is because Nintendo was still kind of having that fallout with Rareware.
Mm.
And they were... and Nintendo... And correct me if I'm wrong, Jared. I do know that at least Miyamoto was not entirely happy with how Rare handled Donkey Kong's IP, at least when the Donkey Kong Country games came out.
Mm.
He was very critical of them and like how they used it, even though Donkey Kong Country was like one of the highest selling Super Nintendo games for like a few years. So maybe there was a bit of that stigma, but some of the newer blood within Nintendo was like, a lot of people want them, and we can get more like happy customers if we become more inclusive to like some of our classic heritage stuff. And
Yeah.
and I think that's probably like what a lot of people are just happy about. So like after a long last, we finally got another villain, and we got K. Rool, who is aesthetically different from many of the heroes and the human characters you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this, Jared. Like, were there any other character announcements that were brought out that really caught your fancy? Like, were you on the bandwagon as well when it came to Simon Belmont or Richter?
Richter.
Richter. The whole Castlevania thing. Because I have a few friends who went bananas when Simon Belmont was announced. Did you have any affirmation for that, or?
I've never really played Castlevania too much, like, in all honesty. I know it's an iconic series. I know that Konami's doing fuck all with it recently. But like,
It's gonna be a mobile.
like it's just one of those things where it's like, it's cool that he's there. I could have been either way. I could have had him or not and been fine. But in the history perspective, considering a lot of the Castlevania games were on like the NES and SNES and everything, I think it's good that they added them in. It makes sense why they're there.
Yeah, if I had to think of like kind of beloved, like the lineage of really long beloved franchises that's kind of started on, I mean, I believe it started on Nintendo. I don't know if there was a PC.
I think so.
I forget about the Nintendo has some the MSX and stuff like with Metal Gear. It like Castlevania is up there like next to Mega Man, so I think it totally makes sense that like Simon is in there. And I wish I was more familiar with Castlevania. Like I had really particular tastes growing up as a kid. Like I think I was almost maybe even a little daunted or scared by it because it was kind of it's got some creepy imagery and stuff. Mm. I know that sounds really pathetic now, but like I remember getting freaked out by some games.
Everyone has that,
and it's super hard. So, but I think it's great. Like it's kind of a no-brainer next to Mega Man.
Yeah, and while again, I mean, we're pretty much all on the same boat here. I never played a Castlevania game. I'm really not that interested in playing a Castlevania game, mostly because it has a whole you get hit, you flinch back,
yeah.
And I fucking hate it with games where you just simply touch something, oh, it hurts you, and they're not even attacking you. It's like that's one of my pet peeves when it comes to old games. But that aside, I'm actually kind of happy with how Belmont's coming out because he reminds me of a classic brawler character. Like, I was looking at some of his movesets, like how it behaves and everything. And I don't know, I'm just excited to see that kind of character on the screen be playable. Like, he looks like a fun arcade character.
Yeah, there hasn't been... If you try and look at the holes there are in, like, the fighting... Because Sakurai always said that he kind of prioritized a new kind of... A new way... a new, like, attack style or way to play. And when I think about it, there isn't really maybe next to Zero Suit a strong whip based character, and that he fills that role perfectly next to Richter also. Yeah.
And what's cool is like he has like that cross thing that kind of acts like a boomerang as well. The
Yeah.
holy fire. So he's like
Range.
he's almost like a perfect, well-rounded character. He's like a good medium range character who's a brawler, and he can't do like crazy combos as far as I can tell, like really fast ones. I don't know. I just think he'd be a perfect character to play. If you never played Smash before, he might be like the perfect way to get into it.
Yeah, actually, there's a online personality that I follow who never really got into. He would just kind of play Smash on the side, but like he was a big fan of, Castlevania, and by extension, Simon Belmont. And he's like, "Oh, this is it. This is my character." He's like, "I will learn how to play this character just so I can be him." So it's kind of interesting how that your love for a character kind of almost decides your play style. And it's a good one, like Matt was saying, like range. I think for for more casual characters, having moves that you can kind of use at a distance and have range is great, because I would say the hardest thing to learn in fighters is a good defense. So like it's just like, yeah, super interesting character throwing across the holy water is like kind of like Robin's fire move.
You know what it really reminds me of? And it's not part of the same game. It kind of reminds me of Officers Capcom's with Arthur when he throws the flasks and he builds like those little fire pellets on the ground. That's kind of like what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a lot of fun tactical stuff you can do when you play as Simon Belmont.
Yeah, he has I believe, it seems he has a sliding attack he can like vault off of. It's a really interesting move. It almost looked like clouds down into like a jump drill kick. It was really, really interesting and agile looking.
Yeah.
And Sheik's forward B from Melee, where she holds out her chain and can wiggle it.
Yeah.
Now Simon has it.
Yep.
So that moves back.
And I believe that Simon could do that in his original games anyway.
Yes.
So
I know at least in Super Castlevania.
Yeah. So it works out nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me move on to this, because there's a few other characters that came out that we were talking about. We got a couple clone fighters announced, which I know they're called Echo Fighters, but whatever, I'm not going down that road.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some big fan celebration for Dark Samus being announced. Did any of you guys have any opinion on that? Because I'm kind of like the outsider in all this. I have a couple friends who are like super stoked for it, but what I saw was like, why was this just not a skin? I didn't understand it. But did any of you guys have any opinions on it? Like, what were your thoughts on that, or even Clom? If we're gonna talk about clone fighters.
So I actually did a little bit of like digging around. I'm really curious actually what the competitive scene kind of sees in some of these characters and their viability. Yeah. And one of the things that they actually notice is that her much to their like glee was that her dodge roll is she doesn't go into a ball. Apparently, Samus's dodge roll is one of the worst because it's slow and very easy to predict where she'll be. Dark Samus has a very standard dodge roll. She just kind of sidesteps like a lot of other characters. So a lot of the competitive community are saying like, "Oh, that's great already. Like that gives her an edge over Samus now because."
So it's her mobility. Her mobility is more sleek.
Right, and so it might be a little more sleek, or I think there are some changes that were done to Samus that they thought was peculiar, but then have found that it's because Dark Samus has those things. Like, for example, her dash attack, like the angle in which the enemies fly when she does her shoulder ram, like that's slightly different. But, so I think there is room for tweaking Samus. Like, she has a very unique tool set, like to have an echo of, to tweak it, right? So I think and then Dark Samus as a character, I played all 3 Metroid Prime. I'm kind of a casual. I've realized with a lot of these franchises, I'm not a complete expert. Like Sonic, I've played too many games than he deserves.
That's a whole broadcast in its own right.
But a lot of these characters, I have a pretty good understanding of them. It's hard to get to know every single character. But like, I thought Dark Samus was cool in Metroid Prime 2. It reminds me a little bit of SAX, which was like a similar idea from Metroid Fusion, where her suit got infected and was this like ominous, stalking, like almost predator-like character. Samus a little bit. She's more of a creep. She doesn't. She kind of comes in and out. But her a creep as in like. She just creeps around, like, appears.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Samus herself.
No, sorry, Dark Samus.
Like, when she's not bounty hunter and she's just kind of creepy at the point.
Yeah, I mean...
I just want my Whoa. This is like, Jesus, Samus, what the fuck did you see out there?
I mean...
I just want my shot.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's different than other M Samus. It's very emotive there.
Yeah, apparently.
But, sorry, just as a closing comment about Dark Samus is that I think, with her design, it's really neat. They actually, it isn't one-to-one to any previous design. It's inspired by her latest, but really cool effects. Like the ridges of her armor almost look like insect-like. It's got that, which is a lot of alien things in sci-fi is just inspired by insects.
Got that H.R. Giger.
Yes. Yeah, the
Xenomorph.
Which, I mean, if you know the history of Metroid, just brings it back. Cool character.
Splits open like a flower, but with teeth.
Oh, yeah. It's got that little mouth that comes out. It really
does, yeah.
Cool character. Metroid is, I think, deserves more, like, needed another character. Even though, like, just the consistent quality of, like, Metroid has been so good. It's unfortunate. It's such a lonely franchise. Like, it being, what's the word for...
Niche?
No, alone, like the atmosphere. Solitary. It's a very solitary game. So a lot of times Samus is by herself. So you don't have a lot of lovable characters to put in your Smash Bros. Game. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
that's totally fair. You did convince me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like if there's like subtleties to some of these clone fighters, and I could see that where that's the trade-off. Where it's like with regular Samus, you have your clunky movement, but you probably have like more power, more charge, maybe more things like that. Right. Whereas Dark Samus, she moves slicker, or it moves slicker, I don't even know.
Especially if we don't get custom moves back. Because if we don't get custom moves back, then this is a way to add different kind of...
Yeah, I think so too. Jared, did you have any comments on like any other clone fighters as well? Or
So, a quick moment on the Dark Samus thing. I think it's smart of them to put her in because, similar to Daisy, I believe Dark Samus was another one that people were like, oh, they should have their own slot for reasons. But mainly because the fans just wanted to see it happen. Like, people have been saying Daisy shouldn't just be a color palette for ages because she's her own princess. And you already had Peach, and then in 4, when it came out, Rosalina. Like, you were basically skipping her because she was still just a color palette. So for Daisy, it made sense now that she's a clone and she's there and stuff. So the fact that I did that for her, I can see that for Dark Samus as well because she was the same kind of vibe, the same kind of comment from the fandom and the community.
Did they ever show, like, what was the differences between Peach and Daisy's movesets? Or
they showed one where, like, her Toad did something different or she, like, seemed more physical maybe. I'm not super sure. Because it's been very brief, and it was on the last Direct before this one.
At the time, I thought it was just animation. Before I knew how far they wanted to take Echo Fighters, I thought I was like, oh, that's cute. That's a way to change their animation to kind of look more like more in the characterization of another character. But now it's apparent that it's affecting their attributes, their
gameplay.
Yeah,
and
gameplay.
So like. Just to wrap on the Dark Samus thing, it made sense in that regard. In a business sense, it made sense because they announced Prime 4 a while ago. Ivan, did Dark Samus get destroyed at the end of Prime 3?
Spoiler alert.
Dang, I
From an old
apologize to viewers who are probably like, oh, don't you know? Because I actually like Corruption. I thought it was a fun game.
Mhm.
I don't know if the Phazon arc finished. Like,
Oh,
if she
really?
did away with... Because I remember fighting... you get corrupt... Or Samus gets corrupted with a lot of Phazon and has to... I feel like she gets to the bottom of Phazon, which I think would end Dark Samus.
But maybe not.
But maybe not. I know there
Okay.
is a character named Silex from the Hunters game that is his ship is seen at the end.
Oh.
So yeah, I
So that's up in the air then.
it's I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so, if it's not dead, then I could see it coming back in Prime 4 possibly, probably. So, it makes sense that they'd have her in that regard too, by a business standpoint, because it makes sense. There's another game coming. It's like when they added in Corrin and Cloud, technically, because of the super, super early Final Fantasy VII announcement. But, and this is why I was trying to lead up to, Crom has me interested with the whole Echo Fighter thing, because when I was watching his gameplay, the first thing that I saw him do was Ike's in the air spin slash thing to get back up as an up B. But then later on, he does sort of a Roy Marth, like, dive in the air kind of thing. And I'm like, huh. So the idea that, like, these Echo Fighter clone characters are, like, their own thing, but still a copy of something that's existing is interesting. Because there's a ton of Fire Emblem characters in this game already. And, like, if we're doing it like that, then Roy is his own person, Ike is his own person, Martha's his own character, albeit him and Roy are very similar. If anyone's a clone of him, it's Lucina. More so than her own father, which is funny. Corrin's her own entity with all the stuff they gave her. So it made sense to me that Crom's an echo or a clone, but it seems like he's getting different things in bits and pieces that you can change or modify or something. So it's clear that Echo Fighters have more to them than just being copy-paste anymore. Because if that's the case, then, they wouldn't be a big deal. It would just be the color palette thing again. What would be the point, in a way? But it's interesting to see. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I'm interested to see what they do with that. Because to my knowledge, Richter, I think, has small differences from Simon, and Simon obviously has small differences from Richter. But for the most part, they do kind of share the same moveset. So for them, they're more cloney than maybe some others. But it's interesting.
Okay, so let's go into like some of the other stuff that was kind of shown from the Nintendo Direct. We're getting more solid gameplay and footage of what Ultimate is going to look like. I want to get this out a little bit before we get into like one of my concerns. It's not really a concern, a nitpick, but I'm just quite curious to see how it's going to feel. Going way back when we were talking about stage transitions, I'm actually kind of like super excited about that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of reminds me a little bit of the PlayStation All-Star, sure. But I think one of the features that they added to this game that I think is really cool that PlayStation All-Stars kind of did it first, so that Smash is building onto that, is now you don't have to use a Smash Ball if you don't want to. You can play a mode where you attack your opponent enough time, you build up your meter, and you could use a slightly nerfed version of your Final Smash to get some more hit points in. And I think that's a really cool feature. I'm really happy about that. Because again, it reminds me of PlayStation All-Stars, and I thought that was an interesting mechanic that they tried to do. And now you're combining that with Smash. I think that could be a lot of fun. It'll teach you to be a bit more aggressive and less tactical, and could get messy, and I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the thing about the stage transition is, like, we were talking about, is like, yeah, you can choose your stages that you want. You can have them come in and out anytime you like. I will say, I'm probably in the minority here, because apparently a lot of people do not like crossovers. I kind of do wish we had physically crossing over Nintendo stages, just to see, like, one separate storyline completely meld into another and kind of, like, fight over dominance, kind of like how All-Stars tried to do it. I think that would have been fun, but I could kind of understand why that might be a little messy for some people.
You might be getting that in
We
a
could.
different kind of mode.
We could. We really don't know.
Yeah.
But to stay on track here, there is something I want to talk about before we move on to the next big subject, and that is pacing. The game, Sakurai had made it apparent that he wanted the Final Smashers to be more snappier, more quicker, and more engaging for players to pick up and play. And I've been watching some gameplay, and I'm sure you have too, Ivan and Jared. I was watching some like dual battles, I guess at some directs or whatever. I don't know. There's on YouTube, featuring some of the new characters and the new game. And I was looking at some of the particle animation as well as like the movement of how characters are launched and how they are relating to each other. And it kind of goes back down to what Sakurai said, where he wants the game to be more snappy. And I noticed if you do a smash on certain characters and they have a certain amount of percentage, they just kind of teleport to like a set distance they would have normally, just a lot more quicker. It looks like to me. And there are some times when a character does a smash and the character is like thrown off screen so fast, I'm like, oh yeah, that character's out. Oh no, they're still in. What? And that throws me off completely. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's definitely something I'm going to have to like feel it out when I play. But did you guys have any opinions on like how movement looks in the gameplay for this new Smash? Because the particles are over the top. They are a lot bigger. It's a lot smokier. It's a lot messier. Not saying that's a bad thing. It could be. I don't know. But what's your opinion? Let's start with you, Ivan. Did you make any observation on any of that stuff? Like, what caught your eye? Does that get you excited? Is there like some concerns? Let me know what's on your mind, Ivan.
I like to. I guess I always appreciate trying to explore how to make Smash feel differently, because I know a lot of people like to talk about. First thing they people who are enthusiasts try and figure out is the speed of it. They always like to compare. I know Wii U is like, oh, it's a little bit, it's faster. Oh my gosh, it's faster than Brawl, but not as fast as Melee. But it's not as simple as just saying that. So I think the decision of trying to, I think it was a way to make combat maybe a little snappier, to have the, I hear some people call it the balloon effect, in which when you hit a balloon, it goes somewhere quickly, but then floats there. So
that's exactly what it felt like to me.
Yeah, so this is just speculation of what I've heard people talk about, just to kind of put some ideas out there. They said it could be snappier and quicker. People can get back into the fight quicker because they're not, they're not flying across the screen for a longer period of time. But then you mentioned doubles. If it's harder to anticipate trajectory, maybe it might make follow-up attacks a little harder, because you don't, as the person who, if you're the attacker and you make someone fly away, being able to like meet them there to do more might be different or be shorter. So that's the one downside I could think of it being too snappy or quick. But
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but as far as the particle effects, my initial impression when I first saw it being played was, I was like, ooh, like the actual effects looked really good. Like
oh yeah, no, they do.
Functionality aside, they add some spectacle. I think what they're trying to do with this game is make it super spectator fun to watch. So like the whole, when you knock down a stock, it shows the score like on the screen, right? I think the smoke or the effects might be part of that, might be showy. And I hear people concerned saying, like, does that get in the way? Does it, like, as people who've played it at E3 and stuff, they said, does it too distracting? And they actually said, no, not really. They kind of had their head in the game. They're able to follow the characters. Maybe when there's a free-for-all and there's smoke going everywhere.
I do wonder that considering we're getting like so many different settings to like customize everything.
Yeah.
I do wonder if we're gonna get a visual setting. I doubt it. But
Right.
it'd be kind of interesting where you can actually select how much of that you want, or if you want it to be as minimal as possible. To me, the only reason why I brought up that it might be distracting for me because I'm an animator is I like to see characters' key poses and all that. And I was watching like Marth fight like Ridley. And I was trying to look at some of the key poses, but a lot of moves that they do, like there's like a lot of smoke going in the air from their dashes and their shields, and it kind of covers up the body a little bit, so it's a little hard for me to see exactly what key poses they're in.
Yeah.
But again, maybe I'll get used to it, or maybe it won't be as bad. Maybe that was just for like GameCon purposes.
Yeah, there's, as we've seen with the Laser Strike, there's still options that are kind of being rolled out or revealed. And personally, if we're going the visual route, I'd actually like an option to do. I really like the dynamic stroking that the 3DS did.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
shader outline thing.
Right, I thought that had a nice aesthetic to it. It would be cool if they added like an option to that for the nerds.
Yeah, I will say, like, I might be in the minority here. I don't care for much of the muted color palette of Smash Ultimate. Because I was looking at like some of the character models side by side, and yes, it was Brawl. Brawl had the more grittier texture look to it. Smash 4 kind of took a step back, minus on the Wii 3DS, and it looks like in Smash Ultimate they look more like plastic figures, but not like cheaply looking. They look more almost like Illumination Studio looking.
Yeah, they're letting their lighting engine do a lot of the end shaders be the visual identity of Smash.
Yeah. Did you have any opinions on any of the visuals, Jared?
Visuals, I think they look okay. Like, I haven't had any concerns or problem with it. I disagree a little bit, Ivan. I didn't like the outline stuff on the 3DS version. I thought it took away a bit.
Oh, that's fair.
It might look better with the texturing of 3DS.
Could be the resolution too. Like maybe if it was a high resolution.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the lines thick sometimes?
It depends on the camera.
Yeah.
Like if the camera was like really out, your character kind of looks like an ink blob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that on Game & Watch. It's like...
Yeah, it would just be aesthetic.
Well, on like HD, I bet it would look really good. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they will put in a filter effect. Yeah. That'd actually be kind of cool where you can like go in your options and say like, I want it to look like Melee. And it just kind of like loads everything to make it look like that a little bit. But then you go back and it's like, no, I want it to look like the 3DS. So you get the outlines and like the scratchy effects. So that'd be really cool, but probably a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there's like an artistic vision that wants to be, a lot of options, but maybe the art won't be touched or anything because there's so much care and making sure that everything is kind of like reaching a middle ground. This is a universe where Castlevania is trying to mingle with Animal Crossing, and I don't know what other franchise would be a huge contrast. Basically, all the characters need to look like they could be side by side. Kind of like I'm looking at your Disney Infinity figures.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job of kind of creating a consistent style that they could all kind of live in.
Yeah. That's very true. Well, all right, guys. Before we move on to the next subject, I wanted to see if we could probably take a quick broadcast break. We'll be back very shortly. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll be back almost right away. But right now, we just need to take a little breather. I need to get a new drink. I want to talk some more about Smash. When we get back, we're going to end our conversation on what was announced, and we're going to move on to a quick speculation round of things like, because we didn't get the full package of Smash Ultimate just yet. There are some hidden modes, possibly, that might be coming up in a future Direct. And there might be maybe one or two more new characters. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might...
Might be fun to speculate that. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back right after these messages. Or no, we'll be back. You'll see. We'll be right back. And we're back, everybody, to the State of the Smash Ultimate Brocast. Jared had to step out for a quick moment. He'll be back hopefully soon. We'll let you know. As of right now, I am here, still joined with Ivan.
Hey.
You're still here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I mean, I heard. So apparently we're gonna be a little more fast and loose now.
We gotta be, because we want to remain interesting. And we're on a new topic here, still play Smash. I wanted to see if we can do a little speculation conversation about some things that maybe haven't been quite announced in Smash yet that you would like to see, or maybe just more stuff down the road, because you never know. After this game comes out, there could be DLC. Who knows? They've done it before. Might not happen because Sakurai said it might not really be in the pipeline, but
Right.
Nintendo could say otherwise. They have before.
I have a selfish request.
Hey,
I mean, it's not.
What is it?
Well, it's not that selfish, I guess, because it's actually been a thing. Having the story mode would be great. I really liked the highs of Subspace Emissary. It was definitely better than the lows. I know that had some pacing problems. I would love some kind of narrative connecting all the characters together. I like this rumor that there's like a Souls thing happening. Characters dying, but
Oh no! That explains Luigi dying at the end of.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
Mario,
Nintendo, he's dead.
the brother. Well, I mean,
Mario's fine. He just broke his neck. He'll be fine.
Luigi's actually a death I'd care about.
Yeah, I know it.
Like, I want him to come back. Like, I care about Luigi. He's a good character.
We do.
But like, I actually liked Smash Run. I liked the idea behind Smash Run on 3DS, and I know. Okay, hear me out. People might roll their eyes, but I swear this was an idea that had potential before the boom that is the Battle Royale craze. But I think what Smash Run was doing was pretty interesting. You spawn in a random part of this big map, and you try and level yourself up in a given amount of time for a battle with everyone. And a lot of the criticism was that you didn't. I mean, this is probably a limitation of 3DS. You weren't sharing the same space as... you were doing an instance of your own map. You couldn't run into the three other characters that were trying to power themselves.
Okay, so it's not like Smash Tour.
Smash Tour is the Wii U version, which is a game board. Smash Run, yeah, it was on 3DS. I would love if they took that idea expanded on it. I would love basically a Smash Royale. Like, you go around a huge map, you start somewhere random.
Yeah.
Maybe you pick up items, power yourselves up. You know what? Okay. So, I know that you power yourselves up, like your jump, your run, and everything. If people aren't into that kind of randomness, how about you earn stocks? Go around, the enemies you defeat gets you fill up a stock meter. And then when the time's up, let's say you run into another player you're playing with who's on a different part of the map, it locks you into that room, or it creates a level lock space. Like, let's say the camera locks, and then you have smash rules where you don't want to be hit off the screen, and you could steal maybe you can be able to farm a stock off of them and try and be the last one. Perhaps part of the level crumbles away. Anyone who's familiar with the battle royale genre of game, the shooter that's really popular right now.
Yeah.
You get the space becomes more and more limited so that people get localized. Do something like that for Smash.
Don't they have something like that right now? Like, they updated Sudden Death now, where the screen gets tighter and tighter.
So see, there's a good. You know what? Yeah, that's a good. That's perfect. Have maybe flames start to encroach. I would love that. I would love them to rework Battle Run, come up with a really fun multiplayer mode in which you're trying to survive in a big map.
You know what's funny about the whole screen shrinking on you? You know who technically did before that?
What's that?
Bomberman. Because technically,
which one?
Bomberman. Like, eventually, like when you, it's like just
right.
two of you.
That's right.
And then eventually
they
it starts
drop
getting
the
close.
blocks around in a spiral.
That's just been way around before Fortnite or PUBG.
No,
hacks.
This
I'm just joking.
They're tweaking a really cool mode right now.
Yeah.
The whole battle royale genre. It's really, the ones who are kind of spearheading those right now. They're doing a good job. But yeah, those things have been around. That idea of being the last one standing as the environment, like it becomes less inhabitable. But yeah, put that in Smash. That's my a little bit more out of left field. I don't know if they do that. I wouldn't trade a subspace emissary for that though. I think that would be better.
Yeah, because I mean, like, again, I don't know how people feel about crossovers in general, because I get a love-hate vibe from everybody.
Yeah.
Some people love it. Some people hate it for whatever reasons, where they're like, well, this messes with the canon. It's like, it's not canon. It's just fun. It's just fun to speculate how characters might act like when they meet each other.
Do you think they'll keep the trophy? If they have a story mode, you know how they've either been toys or trophies?
Yeah.
Do you think these characters are still... What would you say? Like
amiibo, like living amiibos.
Right. There you go. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
What? They should just make them amiibo. That's actually brilliant. That brings it back to trophy. Like that idea of them being...
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what
living trophies.
These guys are. They're amiibos.
Yeah.
They have their circular little platform.
So do you want them to keep that? Like,
I would have no apprehension to it.
That would definitely be able to get it in people's minds that this is just a non-canon like crossover thing. You know, you don't have to worry about too much.
Really, the only thing I want from a story mode is I just want it to have fun interactions and just be like either adorable, badass, or just cute or funny. I said adorable or cute. That's pretty much the same thing. But
and I thought the Luigi short at the introduction of Simon, that was a good kind of mismatch, right?
Yeah,
it was silly.
Yeah, because like Luigi just has his vacuum and like his little toys and stuff, and he's facing a real life mummy getting hit by a plunger. What the fuck is a plunger gonna do to a mummy?
Yeah, you might get more of that. Well, because the mummy's wrapped in toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, that's it. There you go. You wrapped it up perfectly.
Wrapped it up. But yeah, they had some of that in Brawl. I think there was like, Fox was in the R-Wing next to Meta Knight's ship, and like there was some crossover in the cutscenes.
Yeah,
the world, the environments were kind of bland.
They were.
There was some like generic just sky. I don't know if it was
skybox type stuff.
I don't know if it was supposed to be Kid Icarus or not. This was before they rebooted Kid Icarus on 3DS.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. But okay, so that'd be a really cool thing to see come out of Smash. I personally don't really have any modes or any settings like that in my mind. My head mostly just goes towards like characters. And while I personally feel like we're going to get more characters, let me talk about this real quick because we didn't really talk much about it. But I'm kind of in the happy sad camp when it comes to Shovel Knight. Because he's finally in Smash.
Yeah.
But he is amiibo. He is a assist trophy, which to me, based off Smash's history, excluding Dark Samus, is kind of a death sentence. That character has a very low chance of becoming a playable character later on. Dark Samus kind of broke that a little bit, but if we had like a couple more assist trophies who were previously became a new playable character, then I'd say like, maybe there's some hope. But part of me feels like there really is no hope for Shovel Knight.
Yeah, if there's I mean, there'd be hope if there was the next game, but I can't. It's hard to even imagine what a next. I don't know where you go from here. Yeah, I really doubt that he'll be an exception to a character and an assist trophy. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's got to be either or. It's either your assist trophy or you're a playable character. But again, they made Dark Samus. She was originally a assist trophy in the last game.
But she's not now.
Not now.
Yeah.
And there's a chance, and we'll get into the Waluigi thing in a moment, but
man,
that could also like deter that away. But with Shovel Knight, you and I, we did the Let's Play of it, and I saw all the moves he did, and I thought to myself, he would be a fun brawler character to play as, and I could see him in Smash.
Well, yeah, he actually has that... Because he is kind of a mashup between, like, Mega Man and Castlevania in his gameplay style.
You know what's funny? We made I think it was me and Mark who made the speculation saying, like, he would have been a great gateway into having Scrooge McDuck in the game. Because he would be a clone fighter of Shovel Knight for sure, especially with, like, the pogo thing effect.
Uh-huh.
But I'll get into that in a moment. But the point is, it bummed me out a little more than made me excited. I mean, again, I'm happy he's in it, and indie games are starting to get more recognition now, but I don't. I feel like it was a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. If in the next game they take out an assist character and make him fully playable, like they finally give you Waluigi, everybody,
Oh man.
then I would say, okay, maybe there's hope.
I'm sorry for the people who like didn't get Waluigi in, but what I found amazing is that there was still that's still that campaigning. I guess it's that hope that you have for Shovel Knight. Because I'm like he's obviously a assist trophy. Why are you guys?
Because I'd rather play as him. And that's the funny thing too. It's like some of these assist characters look like playable characters.
I guess I meant why were they campaigning to have him in the game? It seemed kind of apparent that he wasn't going to be, but they still tried anyway. I guess if you're a fan, you'll do crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess the thing is, like, my argument with the whole Waluigi thing is like, we got Daisy, and it's like Waluigi has way more presence than Daisy does, at least in recent years.
Well,
Daisy, I get. Like, people are arguing and saying, like, well, Mario has Peach and Luigi has Daisy. And I get that, but for me, if you can get Daisy in there, you can get Waluigi in there. And I think Waluigi would have been a fun character to utilize the sports spin-off games that he was in. Like, he can, like, utilize some of, like, the Aces, the Strikers, the Mario Parties.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good sports representation. Yeah,
he could be that kind of character, and I think it'd be a good way to do that while letting the other Mario characters focus more on the actual games they came from.
Daisy is smart in that she's already rigged. She's the same proportion as...
Yeah, she just has a different head model.
But, I mean... Waluigi, that's definitely a unique rig.
No, it's a unique rig. Yeah, he would not be a clone fighter. He would be a new fighter.
He would it would be a much more larger resource. Like it would take up more time to make an original character for Waluigi than it would be to Echo for Daisy for Peach. So I would not if he ended up being a character, I certainly wouldn't be. It's not like I don't think he doesn't deserve to be a character, but
it's half a meme and half like, come on, dude.
I don't know. Maybe he'll have a stronger legacy as an assist trophy that everyone wish he wasn't. Like,
I wasn't sure if it was Jim Sterling who did this really interesting video on him. Maybe it was someone else, but someone was making this comparison saying like maybe Waluigi is kind of representative of being in the shadow of everybody.
Yeah.
He's always like the guy who comes in second, never gets the spotlight, and he pretty much, his whole personality is about him trying to be in the spotlight.
All right.
So by putting him in Smash, that might rob him of that personality.
That's a good point.
Although personally, I feel like that's overreaching, and there's really no overall story with Waluigi, so I don't think it matters. At least to me, it doesn't matter. I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be a fun way to incorporate the Mario Party and the sport spin-off games into his moveset, and that would solve that Mario section.
Yeah, the Mario spin-offs. That would be there's no dedicated character for that.
And I think he would be a good character for that, and that's my opinion, but I could give or take, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really couldn't care less. But, talking about characters who could appear in the game, kind of tying into like what I was saying about Shovel Knight, it would have been funny, and I know this is really reaching out there, but for God's sakes, we got Cloud. I was humoring with Mark, saying, well, if Shovel Knight was in it, and we got Scrooge McDuck, that's a Disney character. I can kind of see where Disney's like, fuck you, Nintendo, we don't want to deal with you. But if they did say, like, yeah, okay, we'll play, and they put Scrooge McDuck in based off his remastered game as well as his original NES game? Was it the NES?
NES, yeah.
And then they're like, okay, cool, we have connection with Disney, but we also have connection with Square Enix. Let's put Sora in. And I think to myself, that would be kind of interesting. It'd be weird, but interesting. And
I don't
see that happening though.
It wouldn't be because Sora. It would definitely not be like he's not Nintendo enough.
That was Cloud.
Right. No, and I'm saying that wouldn't be the reason if he doesn't get it because of Cloud. I do feel like if Square had to put another character in, they'd have to jump through more hoops to put Sora in.
I think so too. I think because isn't Sora a joint IP character?
Yeah,
like
I'm
Disney
pretty sure.
owns like all those things, and Square Enix partially owns the rights to Sora as well as Disney.
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, they got Konami to give them Snake and Simon Belmont.
Yeah.
But then again, that might be a case by case thing.
I guess when it comes to Square, so you're just trying to.
I'm just speculating. I'm not clamoring for Sora. I think that'd be interesting. It'd look cool.
It would be interesting. I mean, he'd probably have some fun. Yeah, the Disney thing would probably be tough because then you think about like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he summoned,
Donald and Goofy.
Yeah,
well, you had a Donald and Goofy assist
right.
trophy.
I feel like there'd be something missing if he couldn't.
Well, actually, no. His movesets would include Donald and Goofy. I think the assist trophy would be Mickey Mouse, but I think that's when Disney would be like, yeah. And okay, so here's the main reason why I think Mark and I were dissuaded on this, like not convinced this could ever happen. And hear me out. First off, Disney might not be happy with Nintendo right now because Nintendo signed on with Universal and is working with Illumination Studio to make a Super Mario movie, and they're incorporating Super Mario into their Universal Studio theme parks. So that might be a conflict of interest or something where Disney's like, you could have gamed with us, Nintendo, but you chose Universal, one of our rival studios, so we're not going to play ball with you. I'm not saying that's exactly the case, but I have a feeling that might be one of the cruxes that might deter Sora or any Disney representation to appear.
I just think it would be a double third party. Like, Nintendo, they're doing, one third party at a time, but Sora would be negotiating with Square and Disney. And like you said, Disney might have a problem down the road. Because I know that there was some, like, residual Marvelness, right?
Yeah.
Inside of Universal that was, like, probably giving a pain in the side.
Yeah, like Universal still hold the right for any distribution of a standalone Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Marvel has the rights to make a Hulk movie. They just can't distribute it without Universal taking some of the cut.
Right.
And that doesn't expire anytime soon. So Universal's like, yeah, fuck you, Disney.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you make a movie, release it. That's cool. Just give us some of your money because we have the distribution rights.
Right.
So there could be that long, like that broader spectrum that could be holding them back.
I think that when I think about Square, there's two. If I had to go in the most plausible route, I would think. I'll start first with, like, maybe a chocobo, because I feel like Final Fantasy, it's something that's in like almost every Final Fantasy. You could go with the chocobo dungeon chocobo if you wanted to be cute. I just feel like that's almost like a good, like, overall mascot for it. Also, if you wanted to go with the theory of assist trophies and Mii costumes becoming characters, chocobo was a Mii costume.
Oh.
And you know what else was a Mii costume? A character that
from Mario RPG, right?
Yeah, a character that Sakurai said he wanted to put in Brawl but didn't. Is Gino.
Gino. I was looking for the name.
So after K. Rool came out, I was like, "This! Oh my gosh, it's happening!" The characters that a lot of people are just crying for, like
a lot of people are,
like Ridley. I'm like, he's already considered putting Gino in. That I almost feel like it's a done deal. If Square wants one more character in there, I feel like he has the best shot.
He does. I agree. I think Gino has the greatest shot. I'm not familiar with that character, but he is different enough. Yeah,
I know he has a. Oh man, I'm so sorry about all the hardcore Mario RPG fans. I know he has a gun. It must have a lot of different moves being an RPG character. He seems like an interesting.
If Sakurai is passionate about this character and almost put him in, I think I would trust him to know how to incorporate him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't trust him doing the character justice. It's more, does the character have enough to him to be picked?
If Stalker, I think so, then I think so.
Yeah.
Safe to assume that.
So I actually think Geno has a really strong chance. I think a new Pokemon from whatever next game is coming, either one from the previous one, like X and or Sun and Moon.
Let me toss this ball back at you real quick. I don't know the phrase. What if
I'll catch it,
we
Dan.
got another clone character of Pokemon Trainer, but it's from Sun and Moon? So you get to switch between Owlet,
three
the
other
Blaze,
ones?
and
Whoa.
the Mermaid Seal one.
That would be ambitious. That'd be another.
It would be.
That would be from another. But I wouldn't put it past that team to just put something out and be like, what?
Like that would be your next Pokemon. Just put in.
Jeez, I didn't even consider doing another full trainer as a Pokemon.
That'd be intense.
That would be intense.
And I wouldn't mind playing as Owlet. He was one of my favorites.
Oh, you want Owlet? Okay, because I thought I think Decidueye would be a cool
I have no idea who
new
that
character
is.
type. He's the third evolution. He's an archer, and there aren't.
Oh yeah. Well, him
yeah.
too.
So there's no archer characters in Smash.
Well,
There's
aside
another-
from Pit and Link.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But you can get a third one in
sorry,
there.
that was dumb. Of course they.
Well, he's a
shoot
flyer.
those.
You can get another flyer. in there.
Yeah, I think a flying character that specializes in like projectiles, like archery.
Yeah.
I think could add some. Again, these are all. I'm trying to think plausible, like things that might make sense or go with the whole. There isn't this style of character yet philosophy.
That's totally fine, but let's stick to speculation here. Just have fun with it. Present an idea, and if you don't think it works, it doesn't work. But here, okay, so here's another one I want to throw out there because a while ago, before the latest direct, I don't know who I had this conversation with, but I said I thought of 3 indie characters that I would like to see as a playable character.
Okay.
Shovel Knight was not one of them.
Okay.
No word on any Undertale characters being assist or playable. It would be interesting to have an Undertale.
I have one in mind. I'm wondering if you're thinking.
You and I probably are. But we're wondering yourself, do you think there's any chance that we could get Shantae?
That was what I was.
Shantae as a playable character? Because it would be interesting to have her, like, I'm kind of lukewarm on her. I like the idea of her, but I don't think she's the best character in terms of, like, what she represents. But she has, like, a lot of different transformation movesets that might be fun to use.
There isn't really a transforming.
In a brawler sense, like,
I mean,
she
Pokemon Trainer, I guess, technically is transforming into other characters.
technically yes, but they're like it's more like switching characters.
Right.
Whereas like Shantae, it's like her forward B would like she could like either turn into that giant elephant and do a dash forward because she does that in a few games. You could like do an up B, which is her and the monkey, where she either
Yeah,
hops.
I would actually like, instead of turning into characters as different states, more that part of her animation to her attacks.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't physically turn into a character, then
Right.
Then she does like a
'Cause
whole.
then that would
I'm
be
talking about like where she just pops into an elephant and then pops back into a human genie form.
Yeah.
And I could see something like that, like her up B, like I said, she could be the monkey thing, or she could turn into the arachnid thing and do like a little spider hop thing, like from Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah.
And you would also get another female character of color. More
Oh.
representation, so.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
you go.
yeah, you're right. The purple hair. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No. I mean, yeah, because
I think it'd be cool just to have like more female characters in there.
yeah. No, I
She's
mean,
pretty cool, more or less.
no, she's
She's
extremely cool.
weird, but cool.
So and she has a legacy with Nintendo Game Boy. She's
Yeah.
been there for a long time. I feel like if there's one, well, they're indie now, I think. Or
Yeah.
were they always indie? But anyway,
I think they were kind of indie the whole way.
or a third
through.
party. If I had to go with like a close to indie third party character that's been there for so long, Shantae is like perfect.
Yeah, so I think it'd be cool. Like, if we get one more Nintendo Direct, I have a feeling that she could make an appearance. Although, right now, because of what happened with Shovel Knight, chances are she might become an assist trophy, which I guess is fine. Again, I don't really have any attachments to her. Is there any other characters you might speculate or want to be in Smash? Because I want to mention one more character I think that might show up that, personally, I would like it, but it would also hurt me a lot on the inside. I want to see, is there any other character you think we might get from one last direct or possibly
I
DLC?
have one bombshell. Like, something people would love, and also it would almost make history. The
Suspense, everyone.
It is a beloved character that, had to change custody over.
I think I know where this is going.
And I say character, my bad. I mean, we think of Duck Hunt, think of Ice Climbers being tandem characters. Probably two of the most famous tandem characters that people love. They're just, a lot of personality, and also they are owned by a company who is very, at least
Trigger shy.
No, they're actually very pro consumer. They said, given the opportunity, they would say yes if Nintendo let them. If they let Microsoft put Banjo-Kazooie.
There you go, Banjo-Kazooie
into Smash Brothers. I feel like I can't think of a more epic character to let into Smash, because it was once a Nintendo character, and it would bridge ties with another major...
I mean, my God, we had that cross-play with the Minecraft thing between Nintendo Switch and Microsoft Xbox One. So they seem to have, good relations.
I just think that would be the ultimate thing to announce.
I have a feeling you might be right. I have a feeling that might be...
I don't know if it's going to happen, but...
I don't know either. I mean, we're all that's the whole point of what we're doing right now. We're just speculating here. But you brought up a really good point. I definitely remember thinking that the relationship is good right now, as far as we can tell as consumers. And right now, Rare is not in good shape right now.
It would be good PR.
It would be good PR. It would rekindle the fire to the general public. And it might open the doors to more stuff. Who knows? I definitely think... Because I watched John play Banjo-Kazooie fully through, and there's a lot... The first one, I didn't play Banjo-Tooie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot already that you can choose from. I almost said, make him a clone character of Shantae, but that's a joke.
What? Oh,
because he can transform because of the Mumbo Jumbos.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it. Although it would be funny if Mumbo Jumbo was an assist trophy and it turns your player into a car wash or something. That's like a washing machine.
Banjo-Kazooie gets turned into Shantae. How's that?
That would be so weird on so many levels. But yeah, no, I agree. Banjo-Kazooie would definitely be a fun, good surprise character. Here's the pick that I'm going to say, and this might be fucking crazy. It's never going to happen. I don't think it will happen. But something tells me it very well could be. I have a weird-ass feeling that one of the final playable characters we might get announced before the release of the game is Crash Bandicoot. What if they put him in there as kind of like a middle finger to Sony, where it's
you think they'd want to burn bridges like that?
I think they would. And they ported Crash recently to the Switch, and that's doing really well.
Activision's been good with Skylanders they got exclusive Bowser and Donkey Kong in their Skylanders game. They
got good company connections with each other.
I think if Activision wanted to get some, if they wanted to get their what I'm trying to think of, not finger in the pie. Is that the wrong term? Yeah,
a slice of the pie.
Yeah, if they wanted a slice of that Smash Bros. Pie, that PR, that goodwill, I think, putting Crash in there, he's a mascot character, he's a fun character.
And he would have a very simple palette to choose from. I mean, Crash 1, 2, and 3, he has his spin thing, which he could spin in the air if he wanted to. He has that Wampa bazooka thing, body slamming.
How surreal would it be to be do K. Rool versus Crash? It would just feel because I kind of get a similar when I think of Naughty Dog
vibe.
Yeah, when I think of classic Naughty Dog with Crash, I get that rare super Donkey Kong Country vibe.
I think for me, one of the reasons why I think it would be really cool to have Crash in there, because I think I was telling this to you when we got the K. Rool announcement trailer. I know you disagree with me on this, but I felt like when DK and Diddy Kong looked out the window and saw fake K. Rool and it was like DDD. To me, in my mind, that was supposed to be Sakurai. He's like, "Oh, you want a King K. Rool? Sorry, no."
I agree with that.
And then K. Rool comes out of nowhere, kind of representing Nintendo and the fan base. Like, no, we're putting me in.
Yeah.
And Sakurai was like, "Oh, fuck." But get that allegory out of the way. What I kind of liked about that trailer is that DDD coming in, the way he moves, the way his facial animation goes, it's very much Japanese. Like, traditional with, like, the popping in places, doing the funny key poses. Like, that's cute.
Yeah.
But then when K. Rool came in, he was, like, all smooth and bouncy and kind of, like, goofy looking. And as far as I can tell, Rare was a British-based studio.
Yeah.
And so they have, like, a Western style to them.
Well, even the eyes of going through the window. I mean, that's actually a reference to, I believe, in the second country, there was, like, towards the end boss, there was a lot, like, DK's eyes were popping out of his head.
Yeah. So it has, like, that funny cartoon vibe to it. So I was thinking to myself, like, it would be cool to, like, again, like I said, with Shantae being in the game, it'd be cool to also have, like, some more Western characters be involved as well. So, like,
technically, Diddy Kong, K. Rool, and Dark Samus, I think, are the only Western-born characters, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, like, if the final character was indeed Crash, that's, like, another stamp of inclusion of, like, how big and massive Smash is. To have, because, like you said, K. Rool and Crash, you can kind of see them sharing the same world. And I completely agree with you on that. I think that would be one of the biggest surprises that they would ever show in Smash as the final character. Again, that would hurt me in the inside, though, because Crash to me has always belonged on the PlayStation. He was one of my very first PlayStation game characters I've ever played. And even when the Insane Trilogy came out, I made sure to get that on the PlayStation because to me, that's where he always belongs.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong on the Xbox. He doesn't belong on Nintendo because his history started with PlayStation, and it feels right to me.
Yeah.
Now, granted, with the younger generation, doesn't matter. They play on whatever platform they want, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's just my preference. If they put in Crash, I'll hurt on the inside a little bit. He could have been in PlayStation All-Stars, but bad time, I guess. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that he would be in Smash, and I'm going to have fun with it. So,
Agreed.
That's my take on that. We just got word in. Jared has finally rejoined us. He is back from punching a kangaroo in the face. Did you enjoy doing that, Jared?
Yeah.
He was trying to play real life Smash
With a kangaroo.
Kangs.
Didn't one of the boxers in Punch-Out train with a kangaroo, or am I completely...
No, that's a bear.
Right, it was...
You're thinking of Soda Popinski.
Yeah, in Train with a Bear.
Well, we're about to wrap up here, Jared, but we wanted to at least get you to word chime in. We're talking about what kind of characters that have not been announced or even, like, reported on, possibly rumored. What character would you like to see announced before the release date of Smash Ultimate you would like to see? We already mentioned Gino, we mentioned Shantae, Shovel Knight, Crash. Did we mention anyone else? Banjo-Kazooie, that was like his big pick. What about you? Is there any other...
in a Pokemon, like a new...
Yeah, we thought it'd be interesting where, like, if they made, like, a clone fighter or Echo Fighter, a Pokemon trainer, but made it the Sun and Moon Pokemon trainer and had the Owlets, the cat, and the mermaid seal version. That'd be really cool.
That would be.
But in your opinion, like, is there one character who hasn't really had the spotlight? Maybe even breaking the assist trophy purgatory. Is there a character you would like to see in Smash?
You know, it's always really tough when it comes down to that question because, like, the spectrum of any fighter from anything, whether they were a fighter or not, it's always something or other. I'd be interested to see if we did get another Street Fighter character, even if it wasn't a full-on clone, because we know clones or echoes, whatever they are, it's up in the air like how much of a copy-paste job it is nowadays, especially with what they've shown. So I could see, I mean, Ryu's in it, I could see Ken, I could see Chun-Li.
A lot of people are saying Ken as an Echo, but why not like from what I know, isn't Akuma just a more crazy cool?
He'd be the
Ryu?
Star Wolf. To
I was gonna say Akuma would be.
I feel like it'd be a more interesting Echo.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it would
though,
be because the whole thing, and I loosely know Street Fighter lore, but the whole thing is like Akuma is like the embodiment of all the dark of the world made into a fighter that just searches for fights.
Yeah.
He's like the will of fighting given dark manifest in a way or something or other.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'd be down for that because usually Akuma is who I would use in certain games. Like
You
Street
like
Fighter,
Marvel vs. Capcom. You were really good.
yeah,
at that.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when they weren't being weird about it. Akuma was like on my team of 3, and I had a lot of fun with him because I basically know how those characters work. And it would be interesting, especially with Smash Bros. Ultimate's engine and stuff, to see like a raging demon as a finisher.
It'd be snappy too.
Yeah.
It's not long-winded or like a transformation. You just
Oh,
go like,
the Final Smash. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I mean, it also brings to mind: are they gonna rework Ryu's Hadouken to be like the full-on beam Hadoukens from like Street Fighter? Or
that's the
whatnot?
thing you and I were kind of confused about because I first.
Doesn't he do the full?
Well, one of them is the Metsu Shoryuken in
yeah.
Smash 4 when it's up close, but he has a further away Hadouken, but it's just a better
It's like
version
a bigger.
of the ball.
It's like a hurricane ball, which threw
Yeah.
me off the first time because Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when he does his ultimate Hadouken, it's like a Kameo wave, so it's a beam.
Yeah.
So when he was announced in Smash 4 and he did the move, it was a ball. I was like, oh, it's not a beam? I thought it would have
Yeah.
been a beam, but I guess in canon, technically, it's just supposed to be a ball.
Mm,
I don't know.
It would have been cool to see like a beam, but...
yeah.
So yeah, no, Akuma, that would be really interesting. Would you want the Lion Mane version?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Line main version, best version, totally doesn't hurt me that his hair clips through his shoulders.
Man,
Oh yeah,
And his outfit.
this is unrelated,
And
but
his necklace.
you guys will have to teach me about. There's this like type of talking called sarcasm. I don't know, like it, but again, something reminded me about it. You can tell me about it later.
dude, I was so I was so sarcastic the whole time we were doing this podcast.
Oh, really? That's what that was?
Yeah, I hate Smash.
Oh man. So wait, are you telling me that you don't really want the Lion Mane Akuma?
Yeah, I was lying.
I'm over it.
I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, no,
he's just trying to hurt your pride.
that would be a cool
Ow.
character. I could see that happening later on down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be like the final character announcement though.
Oh, probably not.
I think they would like accompany that with either Banjo-Kazooie or someone else.
Yeah,
If they did something like that.
yeah. Like some people, there was a rumor you brought to my attention how like if the leaked doll name character wasn't Gino, that could be like 2B whatever from
Oh
Nier.
my god.
Yeah, near 2B.
Automata,
Yeah,
yeah.
2B.
But I mean that could happen, but I don't know.
Square Enix. It's
It's
not
Square-
Disney, so
yeah.
they could work it out.
They could.
Plus more girl
Oh.
characters.
Platinum.
True.
Even though she's not really a girl, she's a robot.
A robot
Robot
girl. Well, there's a robot boy.
Robot boy.
Mega Man.
Robos.
Oh, you
yeah.
forgot about Rob!
Oh,
You sexist bastard.
no, he's not. He's
He has the. You assume his gender.
He scans things.
He's scared.
Yeah.
I mean, he does.
Oh, shit.
I guess I did just call. Rob is, I guess, a boy's name.
Robert.
Yeah.
Bobbert.
Bobo. Hey, Bubble. Okay, so. Alright, so it looks like we got some good selection here. And, yeah, I think that about wraps it up on our extra long but extra informative. Well, it's not really informative, it's just a conversation. The State of Smash Ultimate. So.
One more thing.
Oh, one more thing before we get to
I
our
just
closer.
thought what was really cool. I just going to stages, Dracula's castle. It's really cool.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I
like the-
want more. I hope that's an indication of more of how the single player is. I want set dressings, references, minions, stuff like that. Anyway, I thought of that sooner, but I forgot to say it was before.
Oh, that's totally fine. Which I will agree with some fan outrage a little bit, where they're like, "Oh, we got Richter, but not Alucard."
Mm.
This is true.
That was a little weird, but I think it's just so that
Sure,
they
but at
can
least
clone
he's
the
in
character
it.
more easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sis trophy, so...
Sorry for the interruption.
No, that's totally fair. Like, I actually did like the castle.
So if they had to drop another direct, it'd be in October, wouldn't it?
It would
Like
definitely
2
be...
months before.
Yeah, definitely at least 2 months before the game comes out.
In a
Yeah.
few days, it's going to be an Indies Direct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
There could be more. You never know.
Yeah, there might be once a month. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, anyway, guys, I want to thank my panelists, Jarrett and Ivan, for joining me on this special Ultimate Smash Brocast. Be sure to check out some of our other content, such as Weekend Review and DuckTales Reviews. Disenchantment, we did Disenchantment. Mark and I, we have another review coming up soon, talking about a Netflix, I believe it's called Paradise PI or PD or something. Some adult show that Mark and I will be reviewing. That should be coming up soon. Otherwise, probably not. Who knows? I also still do my First Thoughts reviews, so please check them out. We had a very special puppet-like guest joining us in our latest review for the Happy Time Murders.
I met him.
Not to
before.
mention the very snazzy suit.
Yes, I have a new attire, which hopefully you guys will like me in. Anyway, so, and we're not as social media savvy as everyone else is, but is there anything you want to plug in real quick, Jared? Is there anything you want to share before we close? No? Cool. Okay, that's great. Ivan, I'm going to do this Hot One style. That camera, that camera, that camera. Tell me what's going on in your life that you want people to know about. I fucked that line up already.
You can catch me on LinkedIn. Hire me.
Hire me. It's just
Hire me
Ivan.
on LinkedIn. It's just
Ivan.
It's just Ivan.
Just Ivan. First name just, last name
Just Ivan. Just animator.
Just
No. There's some great just doing freelance gigs. It's been great working on
all kinds.
We're
of good
working
stuff.
on animation, some shows y'all probably have seen on TV, but no, you'll find me whichever way the wind blows. I'll probably end up here again in this studio.
We love having you, dude. You're a fun dude.
Wait, what's it? Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
Oh, right.
Jared's got something.
Right, social media, right. We have a Facebook group for the Game Bros Station, and if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Game Bros Station. Mainly it just lets you know when we upload, just in case YouTube's upload algorithm, subscribe notification bell stuff doesn't fully work.
And also make sure to follow our SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah. The SoundCloud.
We are having some technical issues. You might not get the latest episodes, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
But definitely follow us there, especially for our more elongated broadcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Good plug. Good plug.
Yep.
Well, if that's all for you guys going on, this is Matt Sella signing off and saying thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and leave a comment. What are some things that you like that were announced from Nintendo Direct? Is there anything that you're speculating that you want to come down the road? Join in the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as we like to say here on this channel, to be continued.